Well, greetings. Just here killing time in camp. Not a lot to do. All the batteries are charged up. All the chores are done. And you know how it is when you're homeless or disabled and you don't have a whole lot going on during your day. Like, for example, where I'm at out here in the woods of Southwest Oregon, there's no cell service, there's no Wi-Fi, there's nowhere to plug in, so you're kind of just dependent on solar power, or, you know, sometimes people like to run their generators. And you really basically have no forms of entertainment otherwise, so it's important to have hobbies. And not every hobby necessarily needs to be, involving, beer cans, a TV screen, especially when there's limited power. Whoops, got hung up there. So you got to be able to find ways so you don't feel like you're just wasting money, throwing money down a habit, or wasting time when you could be doing something at least marginally productive. And that's why I learned to weave. I'm no good with knitting needles, I'm no good with a crochet hook, but I definitely know how to weave. This is easy, I can figure this out. What I couldn't figure out is how to afford one of those really, really nice Ashford rigid heddle looms from New Zealand. They're several $100s, worth every penny, but sorry Ashford, I love your product, but I can't afford it. It's worth the price, but I'm just not able to come up with, an extra $300 just to be able to make a scarf here and there. And so I made my own, and you can see it certainly is looking handmade, plywood, chunks of 2x4 I had laying around, plastic jug for the heddles, and these are called the heddles, and they help you change your shed. You can see how it kind of looks like a lean-to or a shed, and these are your sheds that you're going to change back and forth. These are the warping, which warp the cross piece. That's what they call it, the warping, because that's what they do. Whoops, don't do that. And we'll beat it in here to, as they say, beating, change sheds, feed it through shuttle. They like to call that beat it in, change sheds, and it's a nice way to kill time. I've killed many, many hours, just kind of you lose track of time, as long as your body can hold out. Obviously, my lower back doesn't like this forever, and I have to change positions, take breaks. I went for about 5 minutes here, and then had to, lower back is already flaring up again. It's just kind of a funny angle. It'd be better to be outside, but it's a little bit breezy, and it would not be very much fun for the video. But, like I said, there's not a lot going on. So instead of wasting money, at least I have something to show for, what I've spent on this yarn. And this is just some cheapo stuff from Bimart, and this is some Bernat blanket yarn. It's really, really fabulous stuff. It's synthetic, but it is very warm. And I've made all kinds of people scarves of all kinds of different patterns. They love this yarn, but I've never made myself a scarf. And I just need a little one. You can see it's not very wide. It's only, 13 wide. So this one, you never know, might just be mine. For once, I'm going to actually keep it, but it's a good way to, provide for yourself. If you know how to knit or crochet, you can make yourself scarves and hats and all kinds of stuff. So as I showed you before with my plastic sort of mat, it's the entry mat now for the little trailer. And I'm ready for a break here. That was one way to not just be productive and save a few bucks on having to buy something, but it also, did a little good one for Mother Nature. And you might remember the old strum stick from video when I showed you me playing it. And this is obviously it's not a very productive way to necessarily kill time, but it is good for you. And so just because it isn't necessarily productive doesn't mean it can't still be good for you or good in some way or another. But obviously killing time around camp is not much to do. Like I say, see that little blue light? Laptop is charged up. If you're familiar with solar charging, you know what the blinking lights on the Renogy Wanderer mean. That means we're charged up. So there's not a whole lot to do. Obviously, here's the old mat, still in use. Works great. Gonna use it for a long, long time. But it's this beautiful day, and you feel like you hate to waste it on just kind of staring at the solar panel, watching it charge up. But so it's good to be able to find yourself some good hobbies. If you're a little more fit than me, maybe go forage out in these woods and that kind of thing. Go look for some food. I think I might at least try to go and pick out a mushroom or two along the trail this afternoon. It's so lovely. But it's very, very important to be able to get rid of that really, really sometimes lethal killer of boredom and alleviate it not with a costly or personally toxic habit, but something that's not just good for you, but possibly good for other people. And like the weaving and knitting, that's a good way you can make other people get warm, help other people out, or heck, maybe even sell it for a few bucks. I might just do that with one of these here, but I certainly enjoy giving away a lot more. And I appreciate you giving your time to me here in camp as I talk about the importance of killing time with productive hobbies.